You know, a lot of things go through a school superintendent's head every morning. Me, I usually don't start the day at my desk. I'm usually in my vehicle, driving north out of southwest Clay County. As I'm driving, the sun's always coming up on my right. That's to the east. And by the way, I say cardinal directions a lot because I'm a retired aircraft pilot out of the Army National Guard here in Florida. On my left is always Camp Blanding Joint Training Site, and I never forget to pray for my soldiers and airmen that I served with for over 32 years as they're going to work in the morning and flying traffic patterns around Camp Blanding. But mostly, my thoughts turn to safety. Our buses are getting cranked up starting at 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, starting on that first round of high school pickups to get them to school on time. Sometimes they don't crank on those cold North Florida mornings. I pray for the mechanics out there busting their knuckles trying to make it all work. Sometimes in rough budget years, we can't replace the amount of the fleet we'd like to, and everybody'd like to keep them less than 10 years old, but some days we just can't do that. Then my attention turns to the vision. Where are we going? Do all 5,000 employees in Clay County know where we're going? Whether their job is serving food or teaching children or mopping the floor, we should all know the vision of the district so in our unique capacities, we can help get there. Then I think about the mission, the how. How do we get there? And then I think to my responsibility. I can delegate my authority, my deputy superintendents, my principals can go out and carry on the mission that I give them, that the school board creates, but I can never delegate the responsibility for doing it. Whether it gets done or does not get done, that's my responsibility according to Florida law and our Constitution. The superintendent must take responsibility for everything that gets done or fails to get done. You know, as school board members, your job is to set policy and control the budget, set curriculum, but I have to go implement whatever mission you five agree on. So I wonder, did I resource everybody adequately to perform their mission? As I'm finishing up my prayers and the phone starts ringing, I'm heading now towards the office after a few school visits, or the phone rang, we had a bus wreck, we had an incident at a school, and something turned my attention and my whole day and my whole schedule was rearranged. And that happens sometimes, and that's okay. Because like Forrest Gump says, life's like a box of chocolates, and some days you never know what you're going to get. How do I assess a crisis? Well, my mind goes back to my early training as a young soldier in the United States military. I've had a lot of safety training. I've had a lot of training on how to react in a crisis, and that's carried through and served me well in my role as a Florida school superintendent. You'll see before you a chart, and my mind thinks again spatially, and I think through, is this a rare occurrence? Is it seldom to occur? Likely or frequent? How likely is this to occur? It could be a call that came into a school, could be a random email, could be a social media post that somebody made. So do we believe that this is actually going to happen? And once we determine how likely it is to happen, or maybe it's happening now, but in a very low intensity or at a very high intensity, we decide what would the actual effect be. Would it be absolutely chaotic? Would it be critical? Would it be moderate? Or if it happened frequently, as hard as whoever this group or person is, but it was negligible, does it really make an impact in anybody's life at all? To be truthful, I've flown in combat in a couple of different combat zones, and I've never really had to figure out if something was a crisis or not. In 2016, I was sitting in southwest Clay County and had an active shooter murder 3 residents, not on school property, and then camp out on his family farm behind Charles E. Bennett Elementary School. That was a crisis, and I didn't have to pull out a chart to figure it out. So rest assured, if you choose me to be your school superintendent, I will act swiftly and appropriately coordinating with all the necessary law enforcement agencies to swiftly bring crisis to an end. I'm a big fan of the Civics Seal for Excellent initiatives. It aligns with my core values. When I became a Florida school superintendent in 2012, I was supplied by local businessmen at no cost to the Clay County taxpayers a book called Our Dynamic Freedoms. In this book are the founding documents unedited: the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, the Mayflower Compact, and several others. These books were used by our civics teachers to give our 7th graders an unedited, unvarnished picture of our founding documents. Were our founders perfect? Absolutely not. But did they devote their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to giving us freedom? Absolutely. And our young people deserve to know a high price was paid for their liberty. And they should know that. And we should not be ashamed to let them know that. We should not apologize for teaching a true account of American history. Nothing is more American than teaching that, and I applaud the governor's effort in the Civics Seal of Excellence. And I would like to partner with your district, because there's a long waiting line to get teachers into that program, and send some of our teachers to Tallahassee to get the training and come back and train the rest of our teachers in this program. They've passed even more safety measures since the Parkland shooting. As someone who's been through an active shooter role but lost no children, thankfully, to God, I would like to do the same. I would like to ramp up safety, and I support him wholeheartedly in that. As for safety on campus, I believe that we need to continue to uphold bathroom and locker room privileges. As children were enrolled in school with their birth certificate, they need to go to the bathrooms that they were specified to go to as they were born, by their gender as identified on their birth certificate. There can't be any exceptions. If you Google Charlie Van Zant transgender bathroom, it'll pop right up on YouTube. I was one of the few Florida superintendents to say anything about it back in 2016. My stance on that's very clear. But know this: we must be compassionate. We have always made accommodations for children. There are bathrooms in our libraries, our band rooms, staff bathrooms, where children who are legitimately questioning things can go to the restroom. They don't have to go to the opposite gender's restroom. Thank you for an opportunity to comment.